like a personal problem. I hope it burns. By the way.
Oh, well, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, good afternoon, wherever we are in the world, where we have found out that Kim prefers vanilla to chocolate, moving swiftly along.
Can't fucking stand you.
I'm sorry, I just had to take a congratulatory sip after that one, because that was glorious. Oh, God, fist bump. Verbal fist bump.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Like,
okay.
Suffocate you in your sleep.
What, with the one breast that I own? Moving on.
You don't own any of them.
We can be professional. No, we can't. Welcome to another scene in Darkness in Dublin, Mage Edition. This evening's scene is going to take place right next to a large green expansive park that exists in Dublin city centre, which is called the St. Stephen's Green, literally. It is just on the other side of O'Connell Street, the largest shopping thoroughfare in Dublin city proper. It is a place of quiet tranquility. It has a large there's a large white metal fence that stretches all around its circumference, making sure that the busy urban streets outside are kept at bay. You can almost lose track of the sounds of traffic over the movement and the swaying of the trees. However, the scene proper will take place outside of this expansive parkway as people go about their nightly business. From wherever you are in the city, however, regardless where it is, you could be at home, you could be in a movie theater, you could be with a prostitute. I've read somebody's character sheet. Moving on. You will start to hear sweet music that once again calls to your soul, that speaks of forgotten rendezvous with lovers whom are now long since past, mixed with the endless sorrow of your mother's last smile to you before it was that she was inevitably taken by death. So, with that, every one of you will leave where you were and will walk through the night streets, seemingly called, summoned, the unearthly music drawing you on. You have, once again, no idea where it comes from. It is the playing of a flute. Until such time as you stand before the gated entrance to this parkway, and some of you will see a familiar figure seated cross-legged on the ground. For those of you who have not met him, he looks as if he is a simple, humble-looking Buddhist monk. He has the rice hat pulled down over his head, and he is sitting in seiza, which means he has his legs crossed underneath him in an almost meditative position. And he has this flute that appears to be made of a black obsidian stone pressed against his lips that is playing the unearthly sweet melody. It is intoxicating and makes you filled with despair all at once, and you will stand transfixed for a handful of heartbeats until such time as the flute leaves his lips, and then you will all feel an immense sense of sorrow at the fact that music has died. We will begin the scene at this point. I'm not going to do an introduction for each one of you going down the line, but you can do your own thing as you want to come in.
Just one thing real quick.
Yes.
I'm going to spend a willpower so that I'm not drawn immediately, but I'm going to go somewhere and get him 3 vegetable skewers and a tofu burger. I'm going to bring them with me.
Excellent.
The Azure Sailor is going to spend a willpower so that he can get a brightly colored scarf from Nightingale, the circus guy, to cover his eyes tightly, and a little walkie stick.
Okay.
I cannot look at him.
That's kind of fair. All right, but other than that, as I said, you will see a man seated, cross-legged on the ground. Many of you have no idea who he is. and he will look up at you. You will notice the one defining feature about him is his eyes are covered behind black silk that is tied behind his head. He is clearly blind.
All right. So for those of you who've never seen Roros before, Middle Eastern young man riding a skateboard, wearing jeans and a denim jacket, and a bright pink shirt that says "Pink is the new black." He's got a backwards hat on. That's a denim hat with mirrors. He's got his laptop case, his backpack, and he comes up riding a skateboard. He will bow to the man, and then he will place the food that he has gotten in the man's lap.
1,000 thank yous. He'll reach his hands up, and he'll basically intimate that he wants to touch your face, if that's okay.
Roros will lean forward so he may.
He'll do that. He will. If any of you've seen a blind person, they will touch your face in a specific way to kind of memorize your face, to kind of see it in their own way. And he will say, "I thank you very much, Roros of the Teftani, for the offering of food. It is 1,000 times appreciated."
He will nod his head. I figured it was the least I could do. I got you some vegetable skewers, and I know that you eat tofu. I got you a tofu burger. It's basically a tofu that's been made like a hamburger, but not to the point that it would disrespect your religious beliefs as far as your dietary constraints are concerned.
He will do a seated bow, and he will say, "You all heard my song. That is interesting."
Russ will nod and step back and look at the maybe 2 people he's met. I don't know if he's met Samira. You called him Kamina, so yeah. And we'll take a step back away so in case anybody else wants to say hello.
Maximilian will make sure to tighten the blue ribbon around his eyes, and he'll kind of hesitantly step forward and bow. Your flute has called me again, sir. As Papa Legba says.
He will shake his head and he will say, "No, not quite. Think about it like this. I played the song of the city and you heard it. It's slightly different, I think." He's going... Oh, sorry, continue.
What do you mean by you played the song of the city?
He stands up and he places the flute inside a sleeve and he says, "Think about it like this." He gestures his hand around in a wide arc, encompassing a great area, and he says, "A city breathes. It has a heart. It has a mind. Many would say it has a soul. I played the music that is all of those things. A song that will never be the same twice, and a song that can never be the same in different places, for each place has its own sense of self. That is the song of this place."
Sir, do you mean like the ocean is never the same twice in a row, and each time that you go on it is a different adventure?
He will contemplate that and he will say, "Yes, that is a way of phrasing it." He will offer a deep bow to the collective and he will say, "My name is the Nightingale Shadow upon the moon. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance." If anyone feels so inclined who has not met him before, they may make an intelligence mage lore roll, difficulty 6.
Oh my.
Gotta love that. Sweet, sweet mage lore.
I'm gonna approach him and bow. It's a pleasure to see you again, Nightingale.
It is very agreeable to see you too. Well, No, sorry, he won't say see. It is a great pleasure to be in your presence as well, child of the Kavati.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you repeat?
Can I repeat what? Sorry, out of character. What did you ask him to repeat?
When you started talking, it went to my Bluetooth for some odd reason, so I didn't really catch any of that.
Oh, how much do you need me to fill you in on?
Pretty much everything after she introduced herself and started getting ready to pass out tracks.
Oh, okay. For a start, it's a he. He basically just introduced himself, and then somebody came forward and said it was a pleasure to see him again, and then he said it was also very nice to see them again. That's pretty much it.
She will hand actually everyone around the man track. It'll spout something about Jesus and bringing yourself to his cause.
Hands everybody a what?
A track.
Track.
Cassette.
Oh. We also look at it and say, "No, thank you. I do not need to learn about other gods."
Well, there is only one God.
Yes.
Eternally existed in three persons: God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit.
Yes, Ahura Mazda, he who is the bringer of light, he who brings Hashem to all who worship, and who banishes those to Angramanu, to fall to darkness.
The good God, leader of the Loa, is what he means, right?
No. I don't know. I don't know what led you into this, but there's only really one God, and he's not this Mazda or whatever. He is the God who has created this nation. He gives me my abilities to be the missionary that I am.
I see. So your God gives you powers here. Ahura Mazda gives me powers everywhere.
No, God can give anybody powers, or what we call gifts.
I was not given my gifts. I was shown them, and I used them. Ahura Mazda showed me how to use my gifts.
For the record, just a moment. Nightingale, he doesn't seem to be very interested in this conversation with God. It just seems to wash over him. He walks to where Samira is standing, and he will quirk his head as if he's looking at something. But he's looking. If he had eyes, he would be looking directly at Samira's chest, as in looking directly at her breast. But obviously, there are no eyes there to be looking. But he is fixated directly on her chest.
And this is the blind guy?
Yeah, the blind monk.
Yes, he is a blind monk.
Oh. So I see you were cursed with the affliction of being. I want you to know Jesus can heal you of this blindness.
You just hear the Azure sailor start dying laughing at that.
Loros is going to walk over to Zach and say, "I take issue as one of yours, yes?"
Who's he walking over to?
To Zach.
Zach just looks flabbergasted. He's just kind of like, I assume that she must be one of the more outspoken
Ah,
members.
I see. I will take no offense. Then.
No,
Yeah.
I'm a missionary for God
Fine, have your
to
mission
preach
somewhere
about
else.
his son Jesus.
If you believe, he will say, do you believe then that God, the being that you believe to be the ultimate, the supreme, you believe these things, and that is fair. You may believe as you wish. However, I assure you,
Yeah.
as it pertains my eyes, he contemplates and he says, they are no longer his.
What do you mean? God gave you those eyes.
And God's enemies ripped them from my skull.
And at that point, Maximilian, you can see everyone that he shudders.
He told you at this point. Rose is going to look at Wesley's or Maximilian. Is it? That was Wesley, not Maximilian.
No, it's Maximilian.
He's going to look at Maximilian. He's going to say, "He told you not to look, and you look. This is what happens."
He warned you. He was honest about it. But I'm saying
I did not understand the riddle, as it were, and so I paid the price.
If you wish, sir, may I lay my hands upon you and pray for your healing?
He will quirk his head to the side and he will say, you may do if you wish.
Rose is going to take 5 steps back.
Yeah, Zach's just kind of like, okay.
Gonna tap my little stick 5 steps back.
She will lay her hands on the cloth that is, I guess, covering his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She will actually try to heal his eyes, but I don't think she has enough life to do that.
Okay. Exactly what will happen is your hands, it's almost like every vein in your hands will be shown to blaze a bright crimson for a split second. You will be thrown backwards about 20 feet in a straight line and will take 2 ag damage to your hands.
Oh, okay.
Rose is pulling out a coin and flipping it. I'm like, where are they?
Yeah, it's a moment of like you call on God, and if to give you just something else, you literally feel how do I explain this?
Would you
feel
like a Christian point of view? I can give you one, I believe.
You feel as if you are standing for a split second, looking into the abyss, looking into a dark chasm, and in that one moment where you have your hands there before you are forcibly expelled from it, the abyss is looking back at you. Roleplay accordingly, as
Welcome
the
to
figure of the woman is 20 feet.
She will immediately start screaming, and she will scream out, Satan, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Ross is going to start looking around, and if anybody's watching them, he's going to say, "It's okay, folks. It's okay. They're rehearsing a play. They're rehearsing a play."
Everyone's looking at her. They don't seem to notice him.
Do you want me to make a charisma blatancy check? I don't think inspirational counts, right?
Inspirational, I'll let it count.
Okay. Standard diff?
Byron, you are either really far, I think you're like really far away, or underwater.
4 successes with my spec.
Okay. People are just like, okay, they're rehearsing a play. That woman's crazy.
I did not say she was a good actress.
Sorry, Byron, just 1 second. Byron, what were you saying? That went weird.
She will
I was gonna go over and help her up.
She will ask for guidance, as in, Lord, give me the power to see the demon that surrounds this person. Basically, activating her spirit sight.
Can I attempt
Jesus.
to interrupt her spirit sight, sir?
No,
I know what's gonna happen.
Shh. Okay. All right. Roll your arete and tell me your results. This can only end well.
All right.
I don't think Aurora's packed diapers.
So it's Arete and Spirit, right?
No, it's
just
just
Arete.
Arete.
It's just
roll
Arete.
your-
Diff 3.
Oh, okay.
By the way, because for the mages who haven't met him, did Jewel or Samara roll Mage Lore to identify him, or did they not?
I wouldn't roll her mage lore. She just wouldn't know who it is. She really doesn't know much about being a mage at this point.
That's entirely fair. I was asking if the other PCs made the roll. Heather, Tim, you there? We're in hilarious clusterfuck territory.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. I am making the roll now that Discord is actually responding.
Your difficulty will be difficulty 5, as will any other Euthanatos.
Okay.
Which means Tim.
Yes, if Tim is here.
All right.
Also, what is her difficulty? She is asking for guidance, which is her paradigm.
Yeah, so it'll be difficulty 3.
It's standard diff. The standard diff of the roll would be 4. Oh no, it would be 5. Drops you down to 3. Yeah. Oh wait, no, spirit sight. So 4 down to 3.
Yeah.
So-
2 successes on that roll.
Nightingale. Okay, he is an archmaster. For a start, he's an Akashic. He is incredibly old, and you also he's really famous. You know why his eyes are missing because a great demon struck them out of his head whilst he was defending a village. He managed to banish the demon, but the demon took his eyes.
All right, so I got 595, and if my difficulty was 3, that means I got 3 successes.
Okay. All right. I'm going to have to explain this. So, right, you roll your arete. Your spirit sight will activate. Okay. Exactly what you see is as follows. As you start to glance into the Umbra, where his eyes are in the Umbra, there is a great gash, almost like a wound to his soul. And as you look into it, you will physically see directly into what your character would perceive as hell itself. You see the boiling rivers of lead. You see the people writhing in agony. You see the demons physically poking them with pointy sticks. You see every manner of horrible torture that your religion believes will wait for you in hell through that hole that is physically manifested there. I'd like you to roll your willpower, please. Difficult. What was the difficulty?
I think you had the difficulty at 8 last time, wasn't it?
Yes, it was difficulty of 8 last time. So yes, difficulty. Roll your willpower. Difficulty 8. For the love of God, don't botch.
That's one
With
success.
difficulty, 1 success.
All right. You managed to check your fear, though you are petrified. Roleplay accordingly.
She will immediately drop to her knees and put her hands together and start praying.
Great. There's another one that's broken. Oy.
I'm not broken. I just don't want to look in that direction.
Oh, I'll walk over.
She will be saying stuff like, Lord, Satan wishes to destroy this man. He has embedded himself in this man's soul. Will you please bring him back to us? Restore his eyes. Only you can do it, Lord.
This John with the stick his head goes, honey, I don't think nothing can restore his eyes currently. Those eyes are terrifying from what I've been told. We need you to shape up and calm down and breathe a little bit.
Ross is going to walk over to Jewel. I do not believe we have met. Have we met?
Yes, we have.
Oh, that's right. My first day here. Excellent. How have you been?
I've been very well, thank you. How about yourself?
Quite well. You did miss a most interesting situation I think about 3 or 4 days ago, where the entire club got sucked into the Shadowlands. It was quite interesting.
Oh, no, I was there.
Oh, she was there for that? I thought that was... Okay, never mind, then I won't say that. Have you recovered from your ordeal in the Shadowlands?
Mostly, yes.
It's good. It's good to hear.
She will look at the person. Oh, sorry. She's gonna look at the person that was talking to her and says, "The devil wishes to take this man's soul, and I refuse to let it be taken."
I honestly don't think the devil can take his soul. He's a little bit out there. But if you wish, maybe we can talk to him and you can learn a little bit more about him, see what you can do to he kind of face palms help save him. Face palms even more. Can't believe he's saying that.
By the way, sorry, Kim, does Zach
You know what?
currently possess... Sorry, Kim, does Zach currently possess a mind shield?
Yes, he does.
What intensity is the mind shield?
Oh, God dang it. What did Zach do? He was just standing off to the side. Come
It's
on.
something interesting, I assure you. It's not bad, it's interesting.
It's got 6 into effect.
Okay. The monk is going to walk over, and you can see he's tapping his cane on the ground, or his stick on the ground as he walks. And he kind of reaches out his hand, and he'll just kind of stops, and but then he's going to place his hand on Zach's chest. Unless Zach tries to stop him.
No, Zach won't.
The monk will contemplate for a moment, and he'll say, "Have you ever contemplated that she asked you twice for what she truly wanted?"
My apologies. I do not believe I know what you were speaking of. I have had a lot on my mind recently. Could you refresh it?
Yes. Well, how to phrase? The entity who blotted out the stars, he'll say as he holds his hand up, and you'll see the fact the stars are indeed not shining, and the moon is, as I described, a sickly green colour. Have you ever contemplated that when she asked you to wash her clean, that was what she wanted?
Ah. If that is what she wanted, I would gladly do it to help her, but at that moment, she was threatening others and did in fact cause the death of another. At that time, it wouldn't have been it would have been extremely difficult.
He will contemplate for a moment. He's going to stop, and he's going to raise his hand. And he's going to put 3 of his fingers against Zach's forehead, and he'll say, "May I show you something?"
Of course.
Okay. Hi, guys.
At that point,
Okay.
do I see him putting his hand on Zach?
Yes. Yes, you do.
Oh, did you hear me?
Yes, I answered. Yes, you do see him put his hand on Zach's forehead.
At that point, she'll exclaim, "Sir, get back! This man is possessed.
No,
The devil works his wonders on him."
no, he is not possessed.
He is wounded.
Ma'am, look, God gives me sights and things that most normal people would not be able to understand.
First of all, sir, or blah, blah. First of all, ma'am, I am a sir, and second of all, I can see the same things that you can. I am pretty sure we are of the same tradition. This man, I am pretty sure if he wanted to do me harm, he could do it already, but he is not possessed.
Wait, what tradition are you talking? Are you Pentecostal?
I am Catholic. By the way, he's a priest that speaks. He's very clearly wearing his cassock out today, and he speaks with a French accent.
Oh, well, so Mary is not going to help you see these things. No disrespect. I'm just saying that you must first believe that Jesus died for us.
The monk, he will very calmly turn and he will say, "My name is the shadow of the nightingale upon the moon. I am Bodhisattva to the Akashiana. I am the warden of the gates. I am he who is entrusted with one of the sacred treasures. I have defended the enlightened brotherhood of the traditions for longer than you have contemplated Christ, and longer than he has been a religion upon this earth. You will kindly show some respect."
My character backpedals away
You
from him.
will actually hear a round of applause come out of the Tuftani.
And my character backpedals from her.
What is your name? And she looks as if she is not speaking to him, but like speaking to something that is within him.
He will. I will point out, Evan got more heatish when he said that than the character did. He kept his very playful, light tone of voice. He doesn't appear to get physically angry, and he will say, "I have just told you my name. That is the only name I possess."
You speak the name of the man, but I do not wish to know the name of the man. I wish to know the name of the demon within inside of him.
Okay, oh my, you just said the wrong thing.
I'm gonna walk over to Kimberly before.
The monk will very calmly turn to Kimberly and he will say, "Do you take responsibility for this one?"
Oh, God damn it! He will say, "I do indeed. She must be newly brought into this life. Whatever
He will not.
punishment
He will
you see
stay.
fit.
As you say. He's very going to calmly turn back to you, the preacher woman, and he will raise his hand, and he will simply say, "Sleep," and unconsciousness happens.
Ah, yes.
Thank you.
Oh,
I am about to keep my temper.
I'm sorry, I'd just like to put out for posterity. You asked the guy who banishes demons from children, who's like one of the nicest people ever, like, what demon is inside him?
Rose is going to look over the shadow of the nightingale, and he's going to say, "I know we are not the same tradition or craft. I know we probably do not have the same paradigm, but I beg you, teach me what you just did, so I may use it if she talks to me again."
He will shrug and he will say, "Oftentimes, zealotry is its own enemy. I do not think she is a bad person. I think that she attempts to walk a path that she believes is righteous. However, zealotry and righteousness are often very alien to one another."
I agree with that. I'm kind of confused though, Zach. Why was she so rude to you? You are the same faith, no?
I am sure she is a member of the chorus, or if she is an orphan, that she will join the chorus.
No, I meant that you are both Christians. You both follow Jesus and God. Why was she so rude to you? She treated you like infidel.
Because I doubt that she is Catholic. And
If I...
Hmm?
Walk up to Kim, Jack, go, "So if I say I don't believe in God, are you gonna get as angry as she would?"
No, because I respect that you hold beliefs that are different than mine. If
Thank
everyone
you.
believed in the same thing, then the world would get utterly boring. I can respect that I do not believe the same as Roros does, but that does not mean that I will treat him any different.
This is much appreciated, by the way. I do not believe I have told you that before.
The monk will very calmly walk over to the unconscious woman, and he will pick her up as if she weighs nothing. And he will leave her down. He will then take off the outer layer of his clothing, and he will place it over her to keep her warm. I will point out where he will leave her. It will be as if she has not noticed that she is there, so people won't see an unconscious woman. If that makes sense, they will just casually walk by her as if, you know. But he will then walk back to Zach. He's now naked to the chest, by the way, and oh crap, those are some muscles.
Are we talking like Master Roshi?
Yes.
Which some of us still can't see.
But he will say, "May I now show you?"
If I might give you a jacket, no doubt it is cold.
It is fine. I walk a path that I must walk. Every small kindness must be given. I do not feel the cold because my compassion warms my heart.
Zach kind of smiles at that, but he won't argue.
He will once again very gently press three of his fingers to Zach's forehead, at which point all of you guys will have a very interesting experience. You will be floating ever so slightly above your bodies. As in, you're having a complete out-of-body experience.
Oh, no.
nice.
Oh, shite, I can see again! Cover my eyes.
Wait a minute, does this include the unconscious or no?
No, he didn't include you in this.
Okay.
Mostly because what he's about to show you, I think he thinks would probably damage your psyche more so than it's already been damaged by faith. He will basically, as you are here, though, you will start to feel the feelings of those around you. The people who are walking on the streets, you will feel if they are happy, if they are sad. You will sense why they're happy. That woman over there just broke up with her boyfriend, whereas that person there just found out today he would be a father. All of these emotions hit you like a palpable wave, like an avalanche of utter feeling, happiness, joy, tragedy, hatred, love. And for a few moments, it is entirely overwhelming until basically you come to cope with it.
Evan, I do have a question. On what plane are we actually on at the moment? Are we still?
You are not currently on a plane. You are, in fact, astral projecting.
Okay.
So, but you are overwhelmed by this roaring sea of emotion until, as I say, your minds will begin to straighten, to coalesce, to cope with the fact that it exists. He will say, "This is how I see. I do not see your faces, but I see your heart."
Then you see our emotions true then, yes?
Yes. Sorry, what did you say, Heather?
That is fascinating and rather disturbing.
However, he will say, "Close your eyes and let yourself drift with the rhythm, which is the heart. Feel the emotion ripple around you."
Rose will in fact do so.
As will Jewel.
I'll close my eyes and roll with it.
I've already got my eyes closed, but he'll say it. Waves be gentle, and the sensation's enjoyable.
Come on, no.
Okay. Okay, so what you feel is an undercurrent. It's so odd. You feel when you let yourself feel it, such, I will call it, how would I call it? I would call it, you feel such hatred and such utter self-loathing and sadness that it brings you, it very nearly brings you to tears. You feel such pain, such self-loathing, such inner malice towards oneself that it almost makes you cry out. It almost makes you cry out in pain yourselves. You almost have to give vocalization to the amount of hatred you feel, the amount of inner loathing you feel.
Can we figure out where this is coming from?
It's definitely coming from a central source, but the source is nowhere physically near you.
Evan?
Yes?
If I treated this like the ocean, could I perhaps get a roll to identify where it's coming from, if the current is coming from that source?
Not really. It's more of a kind of, if I was to use an analogy connected to the ocean, it is more so like a wave that is rippling from a wide direction as opposed to a direct source of it.
You can't hide forever.
He will say, "I have felt this since I arrived in Dublin. This is your Nathandi. This is what they feel."
Zach's crying.
He will then turn and he will say, Perhaps when they asked you for forgiveness, that is what they truly desired.
Hey, where we at?
We're astrally projecting, and we're feeling all the emotions of the city around us, and now we're feeling the
Especially
Nafandi's
the Nafandi.
emotions. Yeah, self-loathing and hatred and blah blah blah.
Self-hatred, pain, existential crisis.
Okay, so an average Pathfinder table.
Hmm.
No, you're missing sexual desperation.
Hey.
I'm not going to make the joke that I was going to make, but I'll PM it to some of you.
When you see physically astral project, Samira, her heart is in the center of her chest. You can see it beating. The color of ice and seems to resonate with hatred.
Is there something wrong with your heart?
What?
We also point to her heart.
Oh, I don't think I have enough time to answer that question in full.
We can always talk later.
Okay.
If you feel like it.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm curious.
His anger and self-loathing, these are chains that bind her soul.
He will say,
Can you speak up a little bit, Evan? You're kind of away from my...
kind of fading back and forth.
Yeah.
That's worse. You may need to relog.
Come on, gay pig. Oh my goodness. No, you cannot jump. Sorry, I'm having a conversation with my guinea pig.
I can hear its little noises. It's so cute sounding.
It's simply the most adorablest thing ever. No, you can't do that wire. The pay microphone wire. Yeah, I know. No, you can't do that, baby.
there we go.
Welcome
My
back.
apologies. Somebody was asking me something.
What you just said, we couldn't hear it.
Oh, he will say, these wounds are older than the chains that bind her soul. They are deep. They are... I pity this child. She knew so much loathing. That is how this came to pass.
Do you believe it was the parents that did this to her?
No, not directly. I believe it is more indifference than hatred. But then again, a child who craves love who is denied it, he will casually he'll just let the point trail off at that point.
Or also just nod his head, catching what he means.
Forgive me, Master Monk. I do not mean to pry into tradition work, but it is my understanding that to know where a Nafandi is to begin the chant of Gilgol. I swear I can talk.
He will contemplate for a moment and he'll say, you have no idea what you just said, do you?
I do not. I just know that it is something that when it happens to a mage, happens for all eternity. And that it is very bad to do.
You will be brought back down into your physical bodies. It is a very gentle, it is not like you're dropped or anything very dramatic, but you are basically reconnected to your flesh and you will stop feeling the emotions. The monk will sit himself down and sit again in Seiza, and he will say, perhaps, however, in order to provide such a event, it would be complicated. There is not only that, but there is the creature that gives her power to consider, and if one were to directly target this poor child, then they would no doubt face the wrath of the master before such an exercise could be complete.
Then there is a chance, if we remove her master, that she could be saved.
Can you save something that is twisted and inverted, though?
Everybody can be saved. I don't believe in the whole religion thing, but I do believe that everybody can be saved and fixed. No mind shall go to waste. No body should be left behind.
All right, and here goes why the Himalayan War starts. Oh, see, so Myra's gonna say, yes, but how is one to be saved, though?
What was that, Tim? You went really quiet when you said the last thing.
Yeah.
Oh, she said, how is one to be saved?
I do not know. Can the soul of the child be saved? Is the question.
The best person to ask would be the Alibatin. If you could find one. They have been dealing with Navandi longer than anyone.
The monk will say, I do not know. I know. He'll look at Zach and he'll say that in one way or another, twice now, she has asked for help. Maybe you just didn't hear it in the right way.
It's difficult to help someone who sucks us into the Shadowlands and tries to kill us with bone golems.
That is a fair assessment, yes.
It is not in my craft's nature to go around assisting those who commit great evil. I do not know if I can help this one.
Like I said, more than one way to help.
Tim, you're too distant.
Sorry. Sam's got a really quiet voice. Apologize, guys. Sam will say yes, but there's still more than one way to save someone. Sometimes the soul is so pained and so twisted up in itself.
You are suggesting perhaps that Baron Samedi has already dug the grave and is just waiting for her.
I am suggesting that blank slates are possible.
If there was a way, it would be most helpful. The problem is that should she die, her spark will not reset. It will continue on to the next generation and pervert that individual.
Is there no way to cleanse her? The pain and sorrow and undo the damage that has been wrought by it.
Wouldn't we first have to cleanse that which the good God gave her? Or gave someone long in the past that has been blackened by evil magics?
As I said, the only people that would know how to do that would probably be the Silent Ones. Or the Hermetics, if they bothered. Usually they're the first ones to step up for assassination. Or execution, forgive me.
Well, I'm not one for execution. I would honestly prefer to try to help her the best we can.
By the way, as you look down, the monk is gone.
The
Did he
hell?
take his food with him?
Yes, he did.
Okay, that's good. Oh, he must have gone on.
But I will just point out that where he was sitting, he is not sitting anymore.
Bitch.
Oh, on a side note, Andre, you'll wake up now.
She will get up and shake her head and start looking around.
Surely
Good
there
morning.
are other options than the silent ones. They do not trust many people, I believe.
With good reason. However,
If people would like to make me an intelligence disparate alliance, they can.
I,
hey,
in
guess who
fact,
has
would
that?
love that. Yeah.
Hold on, hey, intelligence what?
Oh, wait, you didn't give me
Disparate
Disparate
alliance.
Alliance. You didn't give me Disparate Alliance floor. Damn it.
I didn't get it either.
In that case, if you would like to make me, disparate alliance members will know this automatically. There is one person in the city who could get a hold of even 10 if they want, if he was inclined to do so.
The
We
Prince.
could always ask Gravedigger.
Gravedigger. Oh,
Grog got it first.
okay. So, Gravedigger, he is the leader of the Disparate Alliance in the city, I was told, yes?
Yes, we should go visit him tonight.
I suppose. He would be the one person that would have access to the Silent Ones.
That, and I heard that he is a powerful mage to be one in the city, to hold that seat.
Tara will actually get down on her knee, get up to her knees, and she will begin weeping.
Okay.
So, I almost said Karina. Samira looks over, sees the woman crying because she didn't notice her before.
Oh dear. Father Zach, she's still broken.
Oh dear.
Oh, also,
No, the Lord. I was not strong enough in the Lord to defeat the demon that has assaulted us here this day.
what?
Child, there was a demon.
Have I failed you? As she looks up to the sky.
Oh my goodness.
For you to be as powerful to help him, you would have had to have been alive before your Christ was even born.
Do you not understand that God was there in the beginning? In the beginning, God created heaven and earth.
Yes.
Can
but
I?
you were-
Evan, as a GM, is going to raise his hand and ask a favor of my players. Can we bring this character to meet Gravedigger for the love of God?
No, because I don't want Gravedigger killing us all, or losing his shit, or...
I'm gonna live, thanks though.
I mean, as someone that's gone up against Gravedigger in combat,
You unleashed your problems away. Don't even. You literally unleashed your problems away.
And they killed him. Ish.
oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing how this shit's gonna go down. Hashtag y'all are welcome.
Yeah, I have no problem bringing this character to meet the free-range necromancer operating with no supervision.
Not just necromancer, romancer.
Oh man, what
Man,
the-
necromance.
I will point out Gravedigger is indeed a necrophiliac, yes. Okay, Evan's just gonna because apparently this scene just got interesting because you guys have decided to poke something that's actually I hadn't contemplated you would poke, which is the Ollie Bataille, which is actually really interesting because yes, they're the only people who would know the answer to this question. So
And of
Evan's
course,
gonna
this
go and get
happens
himself a cup
after
of coffee.
Malenton is dead.
Evan's gonna go and make himself a cup of coffee, and I'll be back in just a few moments.
All right.
This is going to go sideways in so many ways. I just want to point that out.
Oh no, I understand completely.
Hey, look. When I started the scene, I told you she has no idea she's a maid. She thinks she's a missionary.
That is completely fine. That is great. But Gravedigger's going to, do something funky. Turn us all to frogs, maybe.
So the obvious question here, Daddy, who is that? She's looking at Zach, by the way.
I can hate you.
What did I just hear?
Daddy?
Nope.
Sex.
Buzz is just going to look at the two of them and say, "You do not look like you are related. In fact, you look far too old to be."
No, that's not the kind of daddy that she...
It's my
Which
nick.
is
It's
what
my
confuses
nickname
me.
for him. It's not like a sexual thing. Like it's just what I call him.
Oh, like a short term for father. I see. Very ingenious.
Ingenious as it may be, there is a certain lack of respect to it.
If I could reply, guys, please.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Zach's just gonna look over at Sam and just kind of say, "You've never called me that before. Could you please not do it again?"
Oh. Okay. So it's kind of confused now.
Hey, Tim. Welcome to Butch, Sam.
Okay, this is gonna be good.
Because I can do that. I can trip your derangement. Unless you wish to spend a willpower to continue as bitch Samira, because you can also do that.
No. Goon Samira is fun. Kind of wakes up. Looks around. Narrows her eyes. She says he's trying to figure out where the fuck she is.
Miss Samira, are you all right?
Oh.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm just fine. How are you doing?
Rose is just going to smile. Like he's not saying anything, he's just smiling.
Forgive me for stating the obvious, but, is it me? He says to the, Brett, I can't remember your character's name.
Roros.
Rorik?
Roros. Roros.
Roros, is it me or did her demeanor just change?
Shh. This is going to be good. My friend is back. The one who likes to go thugging with me.
We did not need to know that.
Yeah, so Sam's gonna very quickly pull up her phone. You gotta check the fucking time and how long it's been. Okay. Yeah, so what are we doing, guys?
We're going to
we
go
are-
visit Gravedigger.
Yes.
We're recovering from the devil outsmarting all of us.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Not
new.
the devil.
She's new, forget about it.
Yes.
Why is she lying? Is she okay? Real talk?
No.
She will be.
No, there was a man that was full of the devil. The devil struck me backwards and injured my hand.
I mean, I'm fairly certain Russell Crowe's off doing whatever. Like, I don't think he's end up.
He was not full of the devil. It was just his eyes.
Yes, I've seen them, and they are very scary. You can see into hell, literally. And
You
things
see, this is
inside
the
hell
difference
can look
between
at
you and
you.
us. I took his word for it. You saw and you wet yourself.
Damn.
I got close to wetting myself. There's a slight difference.
I remember you wetting yourself.
Yes, as do I. The smell was quite unappealing to the food that we were eating.
Look, it doesn't matter if you wet yourself or whatever. What matters is what you do afterwards. Anyway, we're gonna go to Gravediggers, yeah? Let's do this shit.
Yes, we're going to get
I think we all need to go on a 30-day fast.
Fuck that.
Oh my god, yes, give this character to Gravedigger. Yes.
I believe that would
Can we
kill
please
us.
not take the guy to Digger? He's gonna die.
I mean, a 30-day fast wouldn't kill us. Especially if it was one of those Daniel fasts.
It would either
No.
you would either kill me or I would kill somebody.
You might
It's your
kill-
choice.
Yeah, fuck that. I can't do that ascetic. I can't be ascetic. No.
We just lost 3 people at once.
Yeah, I think Mobile just got fucked up.
Yeah.
But she gonna look at Zach, and because she don't remember what she was just told, she gonna look at Zach and be like, "So, Daddy, we going or not?"
Oh god.
He's just gonna look over at her. There is because he's French.
Yeah.
He is quite white. There will be a hint of red around his, cheekbones, upper cheeks, high cheekbones, and shit. And he's just gonna say, "Miss Samira, why must you continue to call me that?"
She'll shrug.
All right, boys and girls. So I'm gonna chug this along. You guys will wend your way. Actually, Carpe Noctem is not particularly far from here. Or did I call Dublin's version of Gravedigger's Bar something different?
It was Carpe Infernum here.
Yeah, it's
Carpe
Infernum here.
Oh, hi, religious person. You're gonna go into a building called Carpe Infernum.
I'm so sorry.
Makes my life somewhat better. Thank you.
Can I skateboard there, or do I need to take the car?
No, you can actually skateboard. It's about because I actually know where Gravediggers Club is located in relation to this place. It's only about less than a 10-minute walk.
All right.
So you will wend your way down to the back streets. You'll go to Temple Bar, which is a cobble street area in the centre of Dublin, right on the river. It's kind of one of the Art Nouveau / punk hangouts in the city. It's a very beautiful place. And as you enter it, yes, you'll see it's a Friday night. So Carpe Noctem or Carpe Inferno will probably have a line that goes down around the corner of the block that it's on. But the bouncer, whose name is Rory. Oh no, it's not Rory. It's what was the name of his bouncer? The bouncer's name is Derek. My apologies. Who's a huge man. Looks like he's about 6'5" and built like a brick shit house. Really, really pale skin. Will look you guys over and he'll nod before letting you down into the bar proper. As you go,
tuck a 50 euros into his shirt pocket and say, "Keep doing your fine work, my friend."
Before we
Rose
go in,
will get.
Before we go in, I'm gonna pull out my little sailor mask and put it on.
Okay. When Rose gives such a massive tip, so I just want to point out that Derek will nod and say, "Thank you, sir. I'll do my best."
So wait a minute, we're going to a club?
Yes. Yes.
Well, then before I go inside a club, I might make sure I get prayed up.
Well, do it quickly because we are meeting someone here to speak with them about the state of a soul that hangs precariously in the balance between the forces of good and evil and whether or not we can get aid in saving it.
Also, there's atheist side.
Oh, Zach, real quick.
Well, all these souls in here hang in the balance.
Father
They do
Zachariah,
not know the sins that they are committing.
Father Zachariah, may I have you here for a moment?
Of course.
Will you please take your friend aside and explain to them it's not polite to use magic inside somebody else's home? I fear this is a lesson she does not know.
It seems
I
like
will
you
also
are.
point out that from what you know of Gravedigger, he will be a stickler when he thinks it's funny.
Yes, I
Zach-
know very well.
Zach's never met Gravedigger.
You've heard things, disturbing things.
Look, Zach just got called daddy twice. I don't think anything amounts to Gravedigger at this point.
I think we all heard things. This is gonna be interesting.
Sam McCain throws winks to Zach.
Jesus. Blessed. He's just gonna sigh and look at
Tara?
yes, Terra. Oh, it's like terraforming. Oh, sweet. That way I can remember it later. And say, do you mind if I speak with you for a moment?
Yeah, sure. I don't mind a theological debate.
Suffer not the temptations of the flesh, you two.
Okay, and with that remark, Joel is going to pull Sam aside.
Rose is gonna look at
Harassing the priest.
Rose is gonna look over at Samira and say, "It's good to see you again."
Yeah, my man. How's it going?
He's good. Nobody has crashed my car into anything yet. I hope that continues to be the truth.
Hey, let's hope, yeah. But the night's still young.
I like this one more. Roars, I like this one more.
You see what I'm talking about?
Wait.
Well, you
Why are you
don't
doing that?
have to worry about me fornicating with the priest here.
Mm-hmm.
May we please just he will just
Why?
gesture for Tara to just kind of follow him off to the side for a moment.
Why is people crashing cars to do things for? I don't understand this.
Pardon.
You
All
can't
right, kids. In order to keep forward momentum going, because I want to do that, make your points to each other as briefly as you can, so we can continue on.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So, Kim, do you want to go first?
If you like.
I was talking to Kim. But
Oh, I thought you said Tim. I'm sorry. Our names rhyme.
Kimberly, would you like to go first?
No, you can. That's fine.
Okay. So, Jewel, she has Sam by the arm. She's pulled Samira aside, and she was, Samira, as much as this new, more confident you seems to really entice and intrigue a lot of people into being friends with you, you are pushing it. If you disrespect Gravedigger, like you have been disrespecting the Father this entire night after we've spoken with the shadow of Nightingale, I will have no choice but to let Gravedigger do whatever Gravedigger thinks is proper for you disrespecting him in his own home, because, quite frankly, he's far more powerful than I am.
Okay.
And you will have more than earned it.
First of all, are you my mother?
I outrank you.
Actually,
I may
you
as
don't.
well be your mother.
Actually, you don't. Technically, they outrank you. Important point. That's actually the way it is, because Tim has more status. I'm just going to be over here.
You hear the hoop earrings coming on.
All right. You don't. You have more status than I do. I have more experience.
And I understand. And I am asking you, are you my mother?
No, I'm not your mother. You're free to do as you like, of course. I am neither your mother nor your mentor.
We are friends, right?
Yes, we are. That is why I warn you.
Then don't come at me like I'm a child.
Don't make me feel like I need to, and I won't.
Fine.
All right. So, Kim, you may now do your talk.
Okay, so Zach will kind of pull Tara. He won't really pull her off to the side because he doesn't really do that. But he will kind of say, "How long have you been gifted with this sight?"
The Lord has chosen me as one of his missionaries. I would say I've been doing this for a month or so now, but I've always been in the Bible for years.
Of course, as we all have. A month ago, it seems, that you have had something known as an awakening. This is what the others call it, the others that we've been speaking with. You now have gifts, which they believe come from different places. That is not important. What is important is we all believe in what we do. People do not enjoy it.
Well, I've been able to lay hands on people, and I've seen some get up.
Of course.
That is how I know I do the Lord's work.
Of course. But if I might continue,
Yes, go ahead.
there are those who do not enjoy it when your gifts are used in their homes. This gravedigger is one of those people. I recommend that you not use any of your gifts until we have left his home.
Oh, an atheist.
And undoubtedly he will test your faith, but it would be best not to irk him. When the time comes, perhaps it is best to be humble.
Well, I am always humble.
There's a tense smile on Zach's face. Just kind of, it's that smile of yes, of course you are. Of course.
After all, you know the meek shall inherit the earth.
Of course.
All right. So I'm just going to go from you guys entering Carpe Infernum. You will walk down a long, black, almost, it looks like it's hewn from granite staircase until you find yourself in a large ovular room. Now, the room itself is probably about 150 feet long, extending, as I say, in an oval, the end of which is capped in a bar, obviously. It is all lit by bright red lights, and in the center there is a dance floor. At the moment they're playing Rammstein. They're playing Sunna by Rammstein. You will see a number of alcoves that have a number of very plush chairs and seating in them. You will also notice a number of half-naked women and men dancing in spiked cages that seem to line the wall, and that there's one over each one of the tables in the various bar outlets. There are a number of staircases that lead out of the main room, running both up and down. Some of them have words engraved above them as signposts. One of them says, "The Dungeon," for example. You can hear odd moaning noises going on from down there. As you enter, you will, I assume, make your way to the bar. Bar?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where we're heading. The Auroras is actually going to be headbanging along with the music because he really is into metal.
That's fine. The inner rocker in Evan feels the want to point out that Rammstein is metal, it's industrial. That's just me.
You're right. My apologize, but this is Roros considers all like industrial death heavy. Considers it all metal. So
That's fair. The bartender looks up at you. She's got like brilliant pink hair, and she appears to be chewing on chewing gum as she's working like her. There are 3 or 4 barmaids. You just happen to get this one. She'll look up and she'll flash a quick smile and she'll say, "Oh my, what an interesting gathering of people we have this evening. What can I get for you, loves?"
Tara is standing there sort of like in awe. It's a bit of awe and a bit of disgust at the same time.
I also say, hey, I will have how you say cream soda. Yes, cream soda. Very good.
Yeah.
I'll have a Bloody Mary, my dear.
All right. Do you want me to make it more bloody or more merry for you, love?
Just a normal Bloody Mary.
As you wish. Right. No problems. For the record, when they ask that, they're actually asking you, do you want it? There's actually a mixture used, so they actually ask if you want more vodka or more tomato juice in it.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Okay, I was not certain. I was trying to figure out if she was asking if I want more quote-unquote blood. I was like...
No.
No, it's not vampire singing.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's actually pretty standard in bars you go into nowadays. They'll ask if you want it more bloody or more merry.
They might also ask if they want it extra spicy.
That's fair. That has Tabasco in it, and that's evil.
Some people actually put fresh pepper in it too.
Why would you do that?
Because people hate their taste buds.
Or your stomach.
Yeah, kind of.
To be fair, there at most places, when you ask for extra spicy, they will use the pepper-flavored vodka instead of the regular vodka.
He's not wrong.
But who is just kind of tapping on the table. She's tapping along to the beat of the music. She seems to enjoy this, which she didn't before.
The barmaid kind of quirks her head and says, "What can I get for you, pretty one? Come on."
Can a homegirl get some Death on the Vine and possibly a word with the boss man?
Oh, right, you're one of those. Okay, not a problem. All right, I'll let him know you're here, and I'll get you Death on the Vine. And you, all right, hello. A little bit of the Far East, but, hey, say lovey. What can I get for you, love?
Just a beer, thank you.
All right, cool. Has she asked everyone? I think so.
She hasn't asked the priest.
Andre appears to just be like,
and she hasn't asked.
Oh yeah, no, sorry. She's gonna actually. You know what? For this one, she hops up physically on the bar and she's like, "Well, hello, tall, dark, and cassock. And what can I get you? You can have anything you see, and I guarantee you'll like it."
Protectively walks up closer to Zach.
Damn it! Damn. Zach will just politely smile and say, "Water, please."
Oh, come on, Father. I mean, it's not even Sunday. You can let your hair down and have a little bit of the blood of Christ, can't you?
He kind of looks his head over his shoulder to his long hair that reaches down to like his ass, which is currently out and about. So, his hair is let down, and then he looks back and he says, "No, thank you, just water."
Fine. What about you, sailor boy? What can I get you to drink? Some navy rum to put some lead in your pencil, maybe?
Yes, thank you. That'd be very gracious of you, Gravedigger.
You're not talking to Gravedigger, you're talking to his bartender.
Yep.
Oh, well, to the bartender then.
Okay. She kind of looks at Andre, she's like, she'll look at Tara and just like, right, I'm not sure what that look is. It's a mixture between you either want to fuck me or you want to, I don't know, something Spanish Inquisition me. So, which is it? Do you want to drink?
Why can it not be both?
It's probably.
I will take water. This is a den of iniquity.
No shit. It also keeps the lights on. So cool. All right, I'll be back with your drink orders in a minute, and I'll let the boss know that you're here. She'll hop off the bar and she'll go back behind it.
Tara will turn around and look at Kim's character and say, look, I know we don't believe quite in the same things, but even you should be appalled at this.
It is not my place to judge these people and what they do.
But their souls need to be saved.
Woo! Okay, as much as I would love to have a theological discussion, probably shouldn't have here.
Oh my. You want to talk about souls, do you, darling star? Well, you've come to just the right place.
Is
what was that, Tim?
Yes, even
there he is.
Oh, wait a minute. What is the bartender wearing?
Oh, for the record, it's not the bartender who's talking to you. From directly behind you, you will see a man is now standing. He's wearing a long black Victorian style tailcoat. He has a cane in one hand. He has a top hat that comes down over his eyes and silver hair that's flowing over his shoulder. You can tell that he has some Asian features to him, but he's not fully Asian. And he'll say,
"Well, welcome to my humble establishment, my dear. My name's Gravedigger. Pleasure to make your acquaintance."
Rosso will walk right up to him and say, Mr. Gravediggers, Master Gravediggers, so good to see you. Your dossier does not do you justice. Thank you very much for inviting us into your club. It is quite gracious of you to have an audience with us this day.
Oh, yes, my apologies. You're the new...
You can see he looks down at his phone. He flicks it for a second. He says,
Right, okay, sorry, my apologies. You're Rorus, aren't you? The new Teftani boy. It's very nice to make your acquaintance, sir.
I am. If you should need any help with anything, you know, of course, how to reach me. I still have yet to have my sit down with the prince, but I understand things take time.
He will say, right, all right then, come on, boys and girls. Your drinks are waiting for you downstairs in my office.
First, we'll
she will whisper in the Catholic priest here. Yes, even the pimp can be saved.
Ma'am, I recommend that you keep such things to yourself while we are here. It is quite rude and impolite. And the last thing we wish to do is upset someone else, correct?
I assure you...
Jesus did.
Gravedigger will say over his shoulder,
I assure you I'm far more interested in these particular souls damning themselves, but that's just me.
Well, even Jesus tore down such things in his temple.
all right, so Gravedigger will bow and he will lead you down into one of the sets of stairs into a very, very large office that's probably about 25-foot square room. It's quite large. It's all underground, obviously. There's no natural light in here. It's all lit by lamps in the same way the club is. It has a large black desk that is complete with a skull motif, so there are skulls carved into it. The drinks are indeed all on a low, shining, polished coffee table, as he promised. There are two comfortable couches in the room, a high back leather chair behind his desk, and two other chairs in front of his desk. So he'll very casually throw himself into his chair behind his desk, and he'll do the little thing where you spin around as you throw yourself into it. So he'll do the thing and he'll spin around and he'll say, "So, right, I know some of you. I don't know the others of you, but by the way, there is a picture. There is a picture. There are several pictures in the room. One of which is of a very obviously Asian woman with a katana on her belt. And the other one is of a woman who looks like she was just done running around the forest. Her hair is incredibly messy, but she's rather attractive.
No comment.
Really? Okay. The two women you slept with. Okay.
Tim, there was a very particular reason you didn't get the enemy gravedigger flaw, and that particular reason was because to him, death is like sex.
I gotta get my phone.
That's awesome.
Oh God.
So
Somebody
when I
please
now
Cody
say
take
he's
it
coming
down.
for when I now say he's coming for that ass, I mean it in the sense that he's coming for that ass with mind magic, which is going to be like a roofie, but that's neither here nor there.
Oh no.
Oh god.
Maximilian will step up to the desk and he'll bow to him. It is good to meet you, Gravedigger. I am new to the city. I am called the Azure Sailor.
You're one of
and it is good to
Nightshade's
make your
boys, aren't you?
acquaintance. Yes, sir. I
Right,
am. But
All right, well, good to meet you, and see that you don't blow any fucking shit up. That's pretty much all my guidelines for existing in the city. Don't piss me off. Don't make it so I have to drag your ass out of the fire, and we're all gravy.
Russ is just gonna say, I'm surprised you say that to him, but not to me.
He contemplates. He says, "That's because I expect you to blow up the city. It's what your type do."
I try very hard not to blow up entire city. Maybe a little bitty piece of it.
So,
Greetings.
now then.
What, Gravedigger?
Hello.
Thank you for letting me be here.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, sir. And what's your name?
You briefs? Jordan Brown, sir.
Why is everyone so fucking nervous? I'm a nice person.
well,
Not really,
sir,
but that's
we
neither here
have
nor there.
we have a very particular request that needs your assistance since you are the leader of the Disparate Alliance in this city.
Right.
You wouldn't happen to be able to get in contact with the Silent Ones, would you? We have a very grave matter at hand that involves
Gravedigger,
healing.
He takes out a cigarette and he kind of flicks a Zippo open and he lights it. He takes a deep drag and he lets the smoke out through his nose and he says, "Well, you want to talk to the fucking Ali Barten, aka we walk everywhere but don't leave a footprint."
Correct, sir. We wish to heal a certain child, as it were, of a very distasteful mark upon her soul.
Oh my. That almost sounds interesting. It's been so long since I had anything to do that was interesting. I died recently. That was pretty fun. But
he's gonna write down in English, and fold it up into, like, out of a little notebook and fold it and pass it to him. And it says, "We are trying to heal the very soul of a Nefandi, apparently."
Now, Now that is fucking interesting. I've not done this before. That is fucking interesting. All right. So you want to talk to the silent ones. You want to talk to those who are the shepherds of knowledge, those who were in the traditions but fucked off. I can arrange this little powwow, this little sit me down. I want something in exchange, of course.
And exactly what would you like in exchange, Gravedigger?
Perhaps
Well,
I can
you see, I either
summon up a Gedi for you.
What kind of talking about?
Hmm?
What kind of
I'm sorry, I
traditions
kind
are
of
you?
whatchamacallit, blipped for a second. I didn't mean to speak over you.
Yeah, Andre, what were you saying, dude?
And there they go again.
The world will never know.
Yep.
No, they'll find out in a couple minutes.
Yay, Hangout's being weird.
Yep. I think it's only affecting the mobile people.
And those of us who use Linux from time to time.
You, Linux.
I kind of need something to play with up here.
Hmm.
And making WoW run on Linux happens to be my primary joy at the moment.
And I'm back. Sorry, what were people saying?
I think it was.
Yes. Wait.
I asked, so what kind of traditions are you talking about?
The fuck?
She's baby mage.
Oh, that's interesting. By the way, you'll see a woman very clandestinely walk into the room. She's the same one who was upstairs. She'll very calmly. She doesn't seem to like bother with any of you guys. She will very calmly put down a cocktail glass. You'll see her very casually draw a razor blade from her pocket and slit her wrist. And she'll basically slit down to the vein. You'll see the blood start pouring into the cocktail glass. She'll just kind of stand there, completely nonchalantly.
Can't really see his face, but Max is like, "Oh God, should I heal her? Can I heal her?"
Are we just gonna let this woman commit suicide right here?
The fuck are you talking about?
I do not know.
She will very calmly, when the glass is full, because trust me, when you slit a major vein, when you slit a major blood artery, it doesn't take very long. Gravedigger will grab her arm. He will lick along the wound. The wound will be gone when his tongue is removed. She will then flick her wrist, and she will place a wedge of lemon on the side of the glass, at which point Gravedigger will pick it up and start casually sipping it.
You know, Gravedigger, I may be able to you want something in exchange? Maybe I can summon up one of the Yeti. They would really enjoy you, I bet. You have much of the same sense of humor.
Wait. Am I the only person here seeing these demonic rituals going on?
Technically, he's not demonic. He's
not a demonic ritual.
He's vampiric.
Not
no,
really.
I believe more.
So
I believe our host.
You believe she'll look at the Gravedigger and says, "So you believe you're a vampire then?"
No, vampires actually do exist, but there is a lifestyle known as vampirism, in which people gain energy and emotions through drinking blood.
I feel like calling our host.
Sorry, hang on just a second. Tim, what were you trying to say?
Oh, Sam is saying, I feel like calling our host out on what he does in his own home is a terrible idea. Can we stop that, please?
Yes.
Yes, I agree.
Please. Let's not do that.
Gravedigger will sip from the. For the record, the waitress just walks out. Like, this is clearly just what she does. She doesn't seem to give a fuck. She'll walk out and close the door behind her. Gravedigger will very calmly sip before he puts down his cup, before he puts down his glass on the table. It's not empty. He's just sipped it. And he says, "Right, okay, so you're a baby mage. Okay, that's really nice. You know, it's often not very fun to be the new kid in town. So I'm going to let you have this one. You've insulted me once. If you insult me again, you're not going to have a fun day."
Zach will sigh and walk over to Tara and say, "Do you remember what I asked you to do, keeping things such as that to yourself?"
Ross will step forward. "My apologies if I have offended you, Gravedigger. I merely wish to correct the young woman's point of view, so to speak."
Not at all. You have your paradigm and your beliefs. I have mine.
He'll nod.
But Gravedigger, would you perhaps like to meet the Yeti? Perhaps Baron Samedi? Baron Simatari?
I already know enough of the lower, my boy. No, I'm not necessarily interested in anything in particular. I'm just trying to think. I'm going to do you the favour, don't get me wrong, mostly because I find it interesting. However, if I don't ask for something, then, people start to think I'm a decent person, and fuck that.
Well,
And
yeah,
perhaps they
hopefully
would
that.
come to you for more things.
He'll very casually look up and he'll say, I know what I want. Simple enough. He's going to point at Jewel and he's going to say, a single night of this lovely young lady's company. That's my price.
If
All right.
that is what it takes to have the chance at saving this girl's core self, then I accept.
Wonderful. Gravedigger will snap his fingers, and you'll hear a shriek that sounds like abject agony for a moment as a figure appears in front of him. You'll notice that there's a chain going from their neck to physically into their flesh, not like not like on a collar, but physically a chain that goes from their flesh to a ring on his hand. And he'll say, he'll speak to it in a weird kind of hissing language that you'd almost swear is parcel tongue, but it's clearly not.
Does it sound like what those things in the Shadowland were talking?
Yes.
Hey, just he knows I've been appointed willpower to keep my mouth shut.
That's entirely fine. He is a horrible person. The spirit will bow and will then disappear. There will be a kind of a smell of brimstone for a split second as it vanishes. He will then stand up and he'll say, I tell you what, boys and girls, I've got other shit I need to deal with tonight, so I'm going to give you my office. Your contact should be along relatively shortish, if I've done this right. So they will be here when they choose to be. I'm going to leave you guys to talk amongst yourselves. Oh, and I don't know if you've ever dealt with the shadows before. I recommend minding your manners.
Roswell, very much so.
Been another will point. Power to keep my mouth shut.
As he's walking out the door, he's going to stop. He's going to turn. He's going to hand his drink to the Azure Sailor, and he's going to say, I'd consider it personally offensive if you, as a new member of the Disparate Alliance, didn't finish my drink. If you'll excuse me.
All right, Evan. He doesn't even bother him. He just lifts the mask up and downs it.
That's sweet. Oh, negative.
Doesn't he have to make a stamina check for that shit?
You really do. You really do.
Yeah, no, actually drinking blood like in large amounts that's not good for you. You're not supposed to do that.
Nope.
That's so many biohazard.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. I'm gonna spend a willpower.
That's fair.
You don't know where that blood has been.
Just sipping his cream soda. By the way, Mr. Gravedigger, this is very good cream soda. What kind is it?
I've never bothered to ask. I can have Rebecca upstairs tell me if you'd like.
No, thank you. It is a good reason for me to keep coming to see you then.
He'll nod.
What's the difficulty, Evan?
Oh,
standard def.
Before he does it, so Sam will actually lift up a finger and ask, hey, Gravedigger, is it okay if because we don't know that woman very well, do you mind if we just make sure the drink is safe?
It's not going to kill him, if that's what you mean.
I would not expect as such. But inviting.
You mean, yeah, no, she's clean of everything. No need to worry.
All right, she'll just throw a thumbs up.
How do I actually phrase this from his paradigm? Evan, with life, I could gain Quint from this, right? Because it is blood.
No, the blood has When you're using consecration, it has to come from the pattern of awakened mage.
Okay. That makes sense.
Unless she was awakened, was she?
No, I believe it's life 4, quint 4. You can rip quintessence out of ordinary people or their bioproducts, but I think you need quint 4, life 4 to do that, and I don't have the book in front of me.
Yeah, that's about right. It's not a
All right,
pleasant thing
so
either.
where did mine go? So that's 2 successes.
Okay, it is not pleasant, and you will make some kind of retching when it's done, but you manage to down it.
Then he just picks up the rum and starts sipping that. Burn.
Gravedigger will very casually, at this point, leave the room and close the door behind him.
Russ is going to look over at Maximilian. He's going to say, "Congratulations, you've taken your first step down the left-hand path."
I have done something similar before. You must sacrifice the animals and drink of their blood in certain rituals.
We're not going down left-hand paths at this point.
Once again,
I suppose it would depend on if you got high up.
Tara's gonna look over at the priest and say, "So, you approve of drinking of blood, and this is the stuff you're willing to approve of?"
There is a difference between approving of it and being polite when in another's house.
Sam was about to say it, but then she looks at Jewel and just doesn't say it.
So, are we done with this place, or?
Oh no, we are waiting for the member of the Silent Ones to show up.
Once more, I recommend that you keep certain thoughts to yourself.
There's people called Silent Ones now? What?
They are of a craft called the Alibutin. They walk without leaving footprints. They are Muslim, however. I would appreciate you to keep any views you have of the Muslim religion to yourself.
Yeah, just don't say it.
It's not like I'm going to pull out any bacon or anything.
Oh, that's a shame. I would actually enjoy some.
It's pork.
I'm curious.
Yes, that's why I'm not going to eat any here.
For the record, you did not hear this voice before it spoke. I am very curious as to why it is that you feel that you must warn this individual not to offend me based on my religion. Was that something that was likely to happen?
Russ will turn and bow profusely. "Oh, great number of the Silent Ones, forgive my impertinence. Unfortunately, she runs at the mouth like a rabid baboon with diarrhea."
For the record, the woman that is currently, she's standing behind Gravedigger's desk. As I said, in your little conversation, you didn't see her come in, and you will forget every. Beg your pardon?
Is this the Watcher?
Yes.
God, I miss her.
Interesting fact, you will forget everything about her physical presence. You will forget her gender. You will forget the clothing she is wearing. You will remember only the information she gives you after she leaves. Everything else will slip from your minds.
Okay.
All right.
She'll kind of sit up on the desk, kind of like in a crouch on the desk, and she just kind of says, "So, in Shahadi, Nan Shahada, what in the light of Islam can I grant you this day?"
My associates, we are curious about this Nafandi individual. We believe that she was tortured, and that is what led to. She was personally tortured. That is what led to her following a path that is dangerous to all. We ask, if not from you, from your elders, is there a way to save her continuing spark from being twisted and infecting the next generation, should she die from her endeavors?
The woman will contemplate, and she will say, "In Allah, all is possible. You have asked me a question that is entirely... The answer is yes and no. The answer is both within their grasp and yet beyond their fingertips. You have to understand that the shattering and the invitation of an avatar or transiante, the nature of the being, it is unfortunate this entity is accursed to forever walk without the light. But you ask me if it is possible for them to be remade, and my answer is only by those who made the avatar.
So you're saying that only Allah, her Mazda, God, whatever, only from whence her spark arose could it be reformed?
Yes, in a manner of speaking.
I
We have
have,
been...
I have a question. It is said that they are inverted like a mirror. Is there not a way
Yes.
to create a mirror to revert the same without physically altering it?
That is beyond even what you would call an oracle in Shahadi. It is in the hands of those beings who were there when the earth was forged and will be there even after it falls to darkness.
Then there is nothing we can do for this young woman.
Would one of the
Her
Loa be able to help, perhaps?
Her eyes will immediately flick to Zack, and she will say, "That is unless you are already armed with something. Shihadi, we have watched you, Father Belmont. You are a variable in the equation."
He will incline his head slightly as kind of like a thank you.
You did. You stood before a demon lord, a servant of hell itself, and you were willing to sell your soul for a child in order to keep them safe from the foul blasphemers who would drag its soul far from Allah. There is nobility in this. My own apprentice, Alazir, spoke very highly of all of you, whom he knew in his notes.
I did not know this, Alazir.
I do not know this person. No clue.
He has unfortunately passed into the arms of Allah. May he forever find peace in the arms of the... May he forever find peace in the arms of God and neath the feet of the Prophet.
At that, Roros will whisper a Zoroastrian prayer that he be guided to the light of Hashem.
I'm sorry for your loss.
He was a good student and a good boy, but...
I said Tara's gonna bite her, proverbially bite her tongue.
She will say, "You have the ears and the eyes of Henshihut Hala upon you, Father Belmont, Zachariah Belmont. If you ask them, and if her soul is indeed willing, perhaps she can be saved. But as I said, that relies upon you, and all of you. Ultimately, killing this child will prove nothing, other than she's dead. If she truly seeks absolution, perhaps it can be granted."
Alzir is going to look over to Zach and say, "Father Belmont, it seems you had the answer all along. Quite interesting."
There were ideas, but after what had been given, I did not wish to take away from anyone else.
Do you not currently have the staff of... Well, but she will contemplate and she'll say, you currently have the staff of the Lightbringer, he who once sat at Allah's side. Do you not?
I do, indeed.
He who is now the most accursed of Allah, and yet the weapon in question was forged for his being when he was the servant of God, not when he turned his back. So, it still possesses the spark of God's divinity. For Allah is merciful.
Indeed.
If you are able, I believe, to summon yourself enough faith, striking them in the heart may shatter the corruption and yet allow the girl to live. That's my hypothesis. Or it could rewrite her from existence. It depends upon if she is able to stand against the judgment of God. But then again, God is a master who is unknown to all save he.
When you say rewrite her from existence, you mean not even her eternal spark would exist anymore.
She contemplates and she says, yes, in a manner of speaking.
Sam looks uneasy about that one.
Jewel looks very uncomfortable.
You deal with powers that were there when the world was cast in the crucible. They are known only truly today. And unfortunately, from what I'm led to understand, Father Belmont banished the entity who gave him this weapon before he could explain it.
It is not that I purposely banished it. It was sort of an accident.
She will quirk her head and she'll say, it is still in the city, you know, the demon named Faust. Or who calls himself Faust.
That is an opportunity.
I believe he licks his wounds from your last encounter.
He must not particularly like me then.
I don't. He is banished from the sight of Allah. I do not think he likes me.
True enough.
But yes, in theory, should she allow herself to be struck to the heart with the lance that was once carried by the arch-traitor, well, that could, depending on if she passes God's test, allow her to be mended and made whole again. She'll cast her eyes around the room and she'll say, I contemplate something that you children do not know. Are you evil because you have been given a cursed chalice that you cannot but drink from, or are you unfortunate?
It is an interesting quandary.
Good.
Hmm?
And that is, the good God is good. And all of the lower protect, as do the Bacta. Just because you are given something cursed does not make you cursed.
This child was infected with this corruption, this avatar that itself was inverted upon itself, known only pain and endured to suffering that would draw her to the darkness. She has very little choice. That is the curse that is represented by the Nefandi, and what it is that they represent.
I see. So what you are saying is that the spark that inhabited her body upon her birth, that awoken, was already an Nephandic one?
No. She became like you, the moment of epiphany, the moment of awakening, But rather than receive an avatar that itself was healthy born, it was maimed, crippled, bloodied, and inverted. It was a darkness as opposed to a gift, a curse as opposed to the will and the benefice of Allah.
I see.
What can injure this mark from the good one, the good lords, in such a way?
What was that, sorry?
Basically, he just asked what could actually hurt an avatar in his own way.
There are many things. It can be shattered apart. It can be rendered into nothing. It can even be captured and kept. There are many answers to that question. But you must remember that if indeed the avatar is a gift from Allah, it is man who broke it and fashioned it in upon itself. It is our sin, not that will of the Almighty.
Russell nod at this.
Could the being known as Shaitan, perhaps, have done this?
Shalora.
It'll quirk an eyebrow, and it will say, "You speak of old magic. That is not my ilk's magic. You would need to speak to the cacophonous explosive ones. Ah, my apologies, the Teftani, to understand Shiharatep."
I take no offense, one who does not speak above a whisper for fear of speaking too loudly.
Shaitan is not a demon. It is a name that was mistranslated a long time ago to mean something it does not.
Shiharatep is, how you say, was an unfortunate one.
Unfortunate how?
Something happened to make him great evil.
He is
Yes.
not. You have to understand something. He broke the laws of the Jinn. By doing so, he was cast out of the light of the Great Mistress. He was unfortunate, yes. He is not what you would say evil. He is more misguiding. But he is supposed to be bound, and now he is not walking around the city. And I find this very distressing. You could say he was responsible for the bubonic plague.
Slightly.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Strange.
He is a great jinn of great power. He, however, takes delight in twisting the wishes he is given to make them monstrous for those who have wished them. I believe the saying that is used colloquially is, "He is a monkey's paw," if that makes sense.
Yes, very much so.
That makes great sense to me.
He is where the careful what you wish for came from.
The warden will hop down off the desk, and she pads over to Father Belmont, and she kneels down again, and she looks at him in the eyes, and she'll say, "I do not know why Providence has placed in you so much. However, I know that Providence tends to choose correctly in these matters. And even if you are an infidel, I must have faith that Allah knows in whom he will trust to be his champion. So, for the sake of all, Father Belmont, if you wish to save the child, you must believe that you can save the child."
I hope that your trust is not misplaced and that I am able to do what is needed.
My trust is irrelevant. It is the fact that those who can see fate, the tapestry spread before them, have determined you, I believe. I do not think to say that you will be their champion is correct, because it is not. You will not be the only one who will fight this battle and win it. You are, however, the one who must be their spear tip in order to allow doubt to enter the heart of this being in order to allow doubt in the certainty of the power that they wield, and in order to try and drag them back, for them to take that first step towards redemption, Father. It is you who must move their feet.
So no pressure.
I only pray that I am able to do so.
Is that all that you require of me, Inshati?
I believe so, yes. Unless anybody else has any questions for the Silent One, who has taken great pains to be here.
I have no more questions. I know what I must do.
I think we all know what we must do.
I have a question, though it may not. Oh, I'm sorry, Brian. Go ahead.
Well, I was saying, if I was just gonna say, if I must, I will personally help guide the beer tip. You look that.
Yes, quite well said as well.
Come out towards that goal.
I have a question for you that may help with this, or it may not. But how would we go about communicating directly with those in the high heavens? I believe that's the term he would use.
He dropped. He'll be back.
Well,
you asked how to communicate with those in the high heavens. Her response will be, you have faith and you pray.
I love this oracle.
Voros is going to actually step forward close enough to where he can actually whisper to her. And he's going to whisper to her in Arabic. I know I will not remember this, so I ask what your name is.
She will turn around and she will say, my name is Esmeralda.
It was nice knowing that for the time that I have it.
She will very casually remove from the innermost folds of her long burqa-like robe. She will remove a small gemstone, roughly about the size of the nail on your pinky finger, and she will place it down on the table. And she will say, should you ever truly have need of me again, simply shatter this, and I will know.
Voros will nod. Thank you for all that you have given us. He will pick
She
up the
will
gem.
turn. She will turn. She will walk towards the desk, and before she gets to the desk, pop. It is as if she was never in the room. All information you have about her identity, her physical appearance, or any pertinent information about even the sound of her voice will strip away from your mind instantly. You will remember all the information she told you, however. And you'll remember what the gem is for.
Right. Voros is going to put the gem in his pocket, and he's going to say, well, it seems that we now have a direction in which to pass.
Yes, we do. Now, though, we need to find a way how to sow some doubt.
What was that, Tim? Sorry, I couldn't really hear you.
Oh, sorry about that. Sam said, now we need to find a way to sow some doubt. Make it sound for a little bit of psychological warfare?
I suppose so. It would help if we could know what her upbringing was like. I doubt that the Society of Ether has any records on that, but it could not hurt to ask.
If you want my advice, says Gravedigger as he walks back into the office, the Archbishop was the one who killed her the first time around.
Oh, yes. He's going to look at Zack and Tara. You're Archmage. He will know how to handle this.
He's already told me quite a bit about her. I can also give you a bit of a primer.
Russ is going to finish his
Well, it appears you people can't be helped, or either you refuse help. Perhaps I should leave and leave you to your own paths.
Russ is going to look
I
at
only
Zach.
ask that God will set you on the true path. And she'll start walking toward the door.
Russ is going to look at
Gravedigger will
Zach.
snap his. I just was saying, Gravedigger will snap his fingers, and the door will close, and you'll hear the click, click, lock, lock noise. He will say, "If you ever call us you people again, oh, I'll send you to meet God faster than you can contemplate."
Russ is going to walk over to Father Belmont.
I will meet God. Don't worry about that.
Oh, will you?
You, however, will probably not. You follow the broad path. I follow
look to Zach and just
the narrow.
Can I knock him out? Can I knock him out?
Russ, as he's attempting to talk to Father Belmont, will simply just sink down onto his heels and hold his head in his hands. He'll say, and he's just going to start speaking in Arabic.
I will look at Gravedigger. Gravedigger, may I raise my voice for a second to this young lady?
Oh, by all means.
Great. He looks at you. You.
Who's you?
Fuck. The young priest lady.
Byron, the character's name is Tara.
You, Tara. I do not mean to disrespect or digress, but you have been nothing but a rude person. You need to apologize to everyone here. You have been digressive, you've been attackful, and I understand that your love for your Lord is great and everything, but you gotta understand, we got more issues than to deal with such a rude little bitch like you. So please, for the love of your Lord,
I can tell by the vulgar tongue that you use that you are entrenched in this depravity.
All of you, stop this right now. We are acting like foolish children in the home of another. It is very clear, as I have stated before, that we all have differences in faith and belief systems. But that should not be something which tears us apart. Miss Tara, I understand.
Yes.
For your faith. I do. But there is a time and a place. Because while he did use quite vulgar language, you have been doing quite the same. You have called someone who needed help, someone who had lost his sight, you called them possessed. You have called us a general term of you people.
No, I was clearly speaking to
my faith. You will let me continue to speak. I will not be interrupted any longer. I have had it. I have tried to be polite to you all evening. I have allowed others, when clearly talking to me, I have allowed myself to be interrupted and not be allowed to speak in return to them. I am done. It has been a stressful night.
Tara will
for us all.
close her eyes and begin to pray.
Excuse me, Gravedigger, can you just simply force this person out of our lives? And if so, what would it cost me for you to do that?
What did you ask? Hang on, whoa. Did you ask Gravedigger to kill her?
Yes.
Oh, well.
I
The
need
problem is
to
the-
leave.
The problem is the disc.
Sam is going to actually raise her hand and look over to Grog's character. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name, OOC.
He's just referred to himself as the Azure Sailor.
Okay. Shot to raise her hand and go, Mr. Sailor?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, is this woman aggravating? Yes, I do not disagree with you. However, she is under Mr. Belmont's protection? She says that with a very clear question mark. And to suggest something like that is not only just wrong, it is disrespectful to Belmont Station.
You are correct. Forgive me. He turns and bows to the good father. It was rude of me to suggest that she needed to be done away with in your presence or without, if indeed she is under your protection. If not, then I would not tarry to speak such things again, because she is not only rude, but she could have caused death and destruction, as well as, through voice and words, caused us to perhaps lose our way to finding a cure.
Gravedigger is just laughing. Like, he will snap his fingers again, and you'll hear the door unlock. As he will look at Tara, and he will say, I'm going to let you run away from here, little one. I'm going to let you run away. However, I want you to remember two things for me. One, someone in this room asked me to kill you. Oh, and I could have. I could have wrung the life out of your little body. And not only that, but I'll tell you something else, kid. You can choose not to believe me if you want. I can rip your soul out of the wheel so quickly and bind it up in this little ring of mine that you will never see the Almighty. And if you piss me off again, I'll keep you from him until Judgment Day and the fucking clarion calls. Get the fuck out of my office. On a side note, I suspect after that little speech, he's getting hella side-eye from the two Thanatos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Extremely.
What
was that, Tim?
Sam didn't know about that last part. She was cool up until like, oh wait, binding souls, what?
Jewel, for her part, will just clear her throat. Is it tonight you wish to have my company, or another night?
By the way, he'll look Jewel up and down and he'll say, whatever's easy. I'm not, well, no. He'll say, I've already got my evening's entertainment planned, my dear. So, shall we say tomorrow night? Oh, no, because tonight is the 15th, tomorrow's the 16th. Shall we say on the 17th, assuming we all survive?
On the 17th, then.
Sorry about that. Something went wrong with my internet.
No worries. Did you get his speech about the heaven, hell, and dragging?
No.
Damn.
All right.
I need to hear that again,
really
Evan.
good.
I need to hear that again, please.
Okay. Basically, to paraphrase it, he'll unlock the door, and he looks at her and he says, "I want you to remember the fact that somebody in this room asked me to kill you, and I could if I wanted to. I could choke the life out of you. But not only that, if I wanted to, I can bind your soul into this little ring of mine and make it so you can never go to heaven. And I'll keep you that way until after Judgment Day on the Clarion calls." He basically threatened her to go to heaven. And he said it absolutely seriously.
And then he told her to GTFO.
And then he told her to get the fuck out of his office.
Now that was exact. That was the exact
Right.
quote in my office.
Yeah, at that point she will leave. She probably won't believe anything he just said, but she's probably not sticking around for. She thinks all these people are depraved.
Yay!
Yay!
Well, I mean, to be fair, she has met them. They kind of are all depraved.
We are.
All right. In that case, because Evan was running for much longer than he thought he was going to, this is going to be the end of our scene. So I would like to thank players for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another scene.